We know there's a lot of things that all Disney princesses have in common, but one thing is really sad. The princesses have no human friends. Now let's check out the sad reason that Disney princesses don't have human friends. The Disney princesses have a ton in common. It's really normal for a Disney princess to not have a mom.
Do you have daddy issues?
I don't even have a mom.
Neither do we!
They usually end up cursed or kidnapped, and they all have a unique bond with animals. But then we realize something else. Why don't any of the Disney princesses have any real human friends? We decided to take a look and figure this out. Let's check out each princess to discover the sad reasons that they just can't make human friends. Snow White. Snow White wasn't just the fairest of them all. She's also the original Disney princess, and she set up all of our exceptions for a great Disney movie. Snow White lives in a castle with her evil stepmother, who is also a sorceress. Even though Snow White is a princess, she is kept totally isolated, and she has to do all the chores around the castle. That's one hard job. The evil queen demands that her huntsman take Snow White to the woods and cut out her heart. Creepy. But the huntsman takes pity on Snow White and she runs away.
I didn't mean to frighten you, but you don't know what I've been through.
Snow White has had a unique bond with animals. They even help her clean. Where can we get in on that? But then Snow White meets the Seven Dwarfs, so technically our original Disney princess has human friends, but she doesn't meet them until after she starts her adventure. Sleeping Beauty. Princess Aurora was cursed from the time she was a baby. Maleficent got all offended that she wasn't invited to the princess's birthday party, but who wants an evil fairy at a party anyway? So she curses Aurora to prick her finger and meet her end at age 16. The good fairies are able to change this. She only has to fall asleep until true love's kiss wakes her up. But they're still determined to keep Aurora safe. So instead of being raised as a princess in a castle, the fairies take her to a cottage in the woods. Wait a second, doesn't the king have an army that could protect her? Anyway, Aurora spends her whole life with just 3 fairies. Her only other friends are woodland creatures. More animals? We're starting to see a trend here. We sure hope she made some friends after she gets married to the prince. Cinderella. When it comes to princesses with tragic backstories, Cinderella might have the saddest story yet. Cinderella lost her father at a young age. She then was raised by a wicked stepmother and 2 terrible stepsisters. She was basically their slave.
Oh, yes, and the draperies.
But I just finished.
Do them again.
Her only friends were mice, and mice can't talk back. Cinderella was always alone, and it's so sad. We can't imagine being that lonely. But she gets her happily ever after. Her fairy godmother dresses her up and sends her to the ball. The prince falls in love with her and searches the whole kingdom to find her. But this is yet another princess who has no friends. Ariel. Things change a little bit in the modern princess era. Ariel was not totally isolated. She had a whole bunch of sisters, and she lived in a mermaid kingdom. Let's just pretend here that mermaids are basically humans. Ariel just doesn't fit in. She's too busy being obsessed with life outside the sea. The other mermaids think she's strange, so she doesn't really have any peers. Her best friend is a fish named Flounder, and she becomes friends with a lobster named Sebastian. But why doesn't Ariel have any friends like her? At least once she becomes human and marries Eric, she'll probably meet some people she likes. Belle. She really is a funny girl, that Belle. At least that's what everyone in her village thinks about her. Belle from Beauty and the Beast seems like she should have friends. She's friendly and smart, but everyone thinks she's so weird. We don't think it's weird to love to read, but apparently no one in Belle's village enjoys a good book. Just because Belle is shy doesn't mean she's strange, yet she has no human friends. Once she's imprisoned by the Beast, she makes friends with all the enchanted household items. Okay, we know that technically Mrs. Potts and company are humans trapped in a curse, but Belle still doesn't make these friends until she's in the middle of her story. Thankfully, once the curse is broken, everyone is happy and human. Jasmine. Another 90s Disney princess is Jasmine. And talk about isolated, Jasmine is not allowed to leave her palace at all.
I've never done a thing on my own. I've never had any real friends.
She occasionally sneaks out in disguise, and part of the reason she falls for Aladdin is that he takes her on adventures. How messed up is that Jasmine is basically imprisoned in her own home? She only has her tiger Raja for companionship. Yep, that is one more princess with only an animal for a best friend. We bet things got a lot happier for Jasmine after she ends up with Aladdin. Pocahontas. When you think of a Disney princess who loves animals, you probably think of Pocahontas. This nature-loving princess is one of the first ones who doesn't need saving. Instead, she saves people, and we hope that earned her some friends. But Pocahontas is a misfit. She doesn't want to just get married to the next chief. She's too much of a leader for that. Her best friends are animals, especially Meeko, the cutest raccoon ever. She also has a great friend in Mother Willow, but she isn't human either. Mother Willow is a tree. Mulan. Mulan is sort of an exception to the no human friends rule, but she doesn't actually have any friends as Mulan. Mulan is not your typical girl in Imperial China. She doesn't want to get married and have a bunch of babies. She wants more. When she goes to the matchmaker, you can see how much the other girls despise her. It's pretty sad. But once Mulan becomes pinged to take her father's place in the war, she makes friends with the other soldiers. But even they didn't like her at first. Thankfully, they became really good friends. They stayed friends with Mulan even after realizing she was a girl. Merida. The Pixar princess is different from the other princesses in a lot of ways. This Scottish princess is the first princess to have no love interest. She also has 2 living parents, but she does have one major similarity to the other princesses. She has no human friends. She spends most of her days being forced into acting like a princess by her mom, or running off on her horse and having adventures. Where are all the other kids her age? She just doesn't have any friends at all. She loves her horse, but he's not really a friend. No wonder she was excited to find those Will-O-the-Wisps. Maybe she thought they'd give her some company. Rapunzel. It's not Rapunzel's long hair that keeps her from having human friends. It's the fact that she was kidnapped as a baby and locked in a tower her whole life. Talked about messed up childhood. Rapunzel thinks it's for her safety, even though she isn't happy. But really, it's so Mother Gothel can keep getting the power from Rapunzel's hair. We bet if Rapunzel had a normal childhood, she would have had lots of friends. She's so fun and spunky. In the tower, Rapunzel's only friend is her lizard, Pascal. And he's so cute, but he's not the best company. You know, since he can't talk. Anna and Elsa. We know that the 2 sisters from Frozen have not been officially dubbed Disney princesses, but they are Disney characters who are princesses. Well, Elsa becomes queen, so we're including them here. After their parents meet their tragic end at sea, Elsa becomes totally isolated. She stays in her room all the time, and she makes Anna stay in the castle all the time too. We know there had to be some other kids in the city, but these 2 sisters were total hermits. And what's really sad is that Anna didn't want to be.
Please, please, I can't live like this anymore.
She just wanted to be around people. Anna's first real friend is the snowman Olaf. Why don't they have any friends? Moana. Disney's latest princess is Moana. She's called by the sea to return the heart of Te Fiti and break a curse affecting her people. She's fierce and adventurous, and like Merida, she has no love story and both of her parents are alive. That's just so rare for a princess. But she doesn't really fit in her village. She knows what her role is supposed to be, but she feels called for more. Her only friends are a pig and really stupid rooster. Hey is hilarious. Moana has a whole village of people. There have to be some kids her age, but she doesn't have any human friends. This is getting weird, Disney. The theory. We have looked into all the princesses who do not have human friends. This question isn't quite as easy to figure out as some other princess theories. For instance, we know that a lot of princesses don't have moms, but Walt Disney lost his mom at a young age. That totally makes sense why he would include that in his early movies. And once Disney starts a tradition, it sticks. So why are there no human friends in the Disney princess movies? The only answer is that princesses have to be isolated in order to earn that title Disney princess. And that is seriously messed up. Surely there could be great fairy tales where the characters have a normal group of friends, right? Disney likes to create a tragic backstory, and they are good at it. Lost parents, being treated like a slave, being kidnapped, those are all seriously traumatic events. But you know what's really sad? Being lonely. Being lonely is the most relatable, sad thing Disney can do. Everyone has felt lonely at some point. Everyone has lost friends and felt like an outsider. Even really little kids understand this feeling. Disney makes such great characters because they're relatable, and we can totally feel for them when they don't have friends. So, is Disney just playing with our feelings? It sure seems that way. The exception. If you're watching this video and think we left out princesses, you're right. There is one Disney princess who breaks the no human friend rule, and it's not that she gets human friends later in life like Mulan and Snow White. Which princess are we talking about? Tiana from Princess and the Frog, of course. This hardworking princess just wants to open a restaurant, but things get complicated when she kisses a frog and turns into a frog herself. She goes on an adventure with Prince Naveen and becomes human again. But Tiana has one human friend, the daughter of the family she works for. Charlotte LaBouffe is a little ditzy and boy crazy, but she's a good best friend. They're total opposite. So why is Tiana allowed to have a human friend? She's still an outcast. She's not like Charlotte and the other girls. She wants to open a restaurant instead of getting married. We love that she has a good friend, though. What do you think about this weird trait that Disney princesses share?